juice. Everything she says is truth. If you don't know, now you know. All you ever gotta say is heard that, heard that, heard that, heard that, heard that, heard that. Look, all you ever gotta say.
What's up, Heard That Nation? Listening in the United States and around the world, you are now listening to the Heard That with Marisa Tigney podcast. If you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I mean, I'm gonna tell you what, you don't want to miss out on another episode, especially this episode right here. I got two of the amazing guests that are on here. One of them puts the sauce in saucy. The other one puts the hype in hype man. And listen, I'm gonna let this speak for itself. I gotta cue it up. Everybody should be turning up their volumes right now on YouTube. Come on.
Josh Morris, holla. Hey.
You are not, I mean, if you have a name in your own song, then you are one of the top-notch people. I got the Midwest independent wrestler and his hype man of all hype man. I got Josh Morris in the building. I got QZR Dobson in the building. Gentlemen, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having us.
For real, man. I feel so welcome on an intro like that. Come on.
Yo,
man.
I mean, this song is fire. I had this on repeat, and that's why I posted it on my social media. And I was like, yo, just two words, Josh Morris. That's all you need to know.
Exactly.
And the artist, QZR Dobson. They hype, they fire. You need to know them, follow them, respect the athlete that Josh Morris is. I gotta start with you, Josh, because I know your mom. Shout out to your mom, Megan.
I love you, mama.
She is, I love her too. She is absolutely amazing. We grew up together.
Best person.
The best, amazing person. Absolutely amazing person. Shout out to your family too, represent. And I remember going over to her house, and when you were little, and your sister, shout out to Michelle, and we would go over there. She would have the pay-per-view WWE events on the TV and everything else. And I mean, those were hype. I follow wrestling. I watch it. No shame. I admit it right here on this podcast show.
No shame,
because it's amazing entertainment. I think everybody should watch it. But here's the thing. I have never, ever seen anything like this that you both do. I've watched WWE, I've watched ACW, I watched AEW, but this that y'all do right here is absolutely, I think it takes it up another level. And I think the best thing is, and I will say two reasons why I think it's the best level. One, obviously both of you all, for sure, because you bring the whole fire into what you do. I'm just saying. And two, it doesn't matter the size of the crowd. It could fill up a Coliseum, but it could be like 10 people there, 5 people there, 2 people there, 14, 20. It doesn't matter. That energy, when you two come out and QZR hits that, hold up, Josh Morris is in here. And then you come out and the comments are fire. Like the one pay-per-view, one event you had on YouTube, and I just thought it was quite funny, Josh, is that somebody compares your outfit to, like, you borrowed it from David Hasselhoff from Knight Rider, like back in the day. Like, I just thought that was absolutely hilarious. But I'm going, okay, his whole vibe, his whole energy, he brings it to the ring. And so I just got to know, how in the world, from you growing up and watching wrestling on television, did you think, okay, this is maybe something that I want to do?
Well, you know, like you said, I've been watching professional wrestling since I was 3 years old. 3 years old watching. It had to have been 2001. So the peak of pro wrestling. So I don't see how anyone could watch that and not get hooked. I just got older. I kept watching wrestling, and I kept on, having that dream in my head. Like I would like to do this someday. It seems cool. It seems like something I'd be into, and I had no interest in anything else. I really went for years where it's literally like I was known as the wrestling kid. Everyone would, not isolate me, but wrestling is a little, alienated from the other sports world. So everyone, you watch wrestling? Like, I had some friends who watched wrestling too, but they always say, I grew out of it. I never did. I kept watching, and even into middle school, into high school, I kept watching. I kept remaining a fan. I kept on wanting to be a professional wrestler. Everyone's just like, you'll want to do something you'll want to be like a firefighter, or you'll want to be a doctor or an electrician, some sort of normal job. The older you get, and the older I got, I'm like, you know what? No, I still want to be a professional wrestler, And so I just said, my mom, she always just says, follow your heart. So, I'm like, F it. I'm just gonna give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen? It's not for me. At least I gave it a shot.
Right.
And so, it had to have been like 6 months or so, maybe a little over after I graduated high school. I moved out, and I'm like, you know what, this is the time. And so I looked up Dan Severn's house, or no, not house. Well, it was his house, but his training school over in Coldwater. And I just started training. I was one of the only people in this class, so I got a lot of like hands-on attention. And so to answer your question, how did I get here? I don't know. I just kept following it and kept going, and here I am.
I just think that's cool.
Be more thankful.
I think it's cool that you followed your dreams, and you watching wrestling for so long and so many years. I mean, you said you started it, watching at the age of 3. So who was your wrestlers that drew you in, drew your interest of you wanting to pursue professional wrestling?
The people that inspired me, even at a young age, I loved Kane. The mystique of his mask and the whole character fire was always awesome. I love Rob Van Dam, going off the top rope, doing all these crazy maneuvers that I'd never seen before.
Rob Van Dam, yes.
Literally. catchy name, catchy, movements. If they always say in wrestling, if you can get them to do a single movement, you're in. You got them hooked. You've seen it, with DX, they did the suck it. And then
Generation X, yes.
Yeah. Daniel Bryan has his like yes thing. So if you get like a hand motion in with your catchphrase, the crowd it's done. So some people that inspired me, of course, everyone loves Stone Cold and The Rock. And as I got older, again, just the more cliche answers is, Chris Jericho, John Cena, Randy Orton, all of those are like legends in their own right.
Right.
And so and the thing is, I never ever really had, that's my favorite wrestler. I would go into like kicks where I really enjoyed a wrestler for that time period, but I never was like, oh, okay, this guy's my favorite. Because I always thought, wrestling is a story, and everyone wins and everyone loses. So, I always just was invested in the story as a whole, as opposed to one person.
Right. That's awesome. I like that. What wrestling does is that it takes the wrestling corporation or the wrestler themselves, takes you on the journey, and they continue to evolve. Like they'll start out as you did, you started off, and I want to ask you that when you first, take me back to your first match when, you got introduced into the ring and everything else. I know you had all them kind of vibes, all those kind of butterflies that you had, because you was like,
you want to know
okay,
about my first match?
I know, I did all this training. I'm here. I've arrived. I got to like shake the nerves off and everything else. I mean, take me back to that first match when you had like all of that going on. How did it go? How did it not go?
it barely went. Let me just say that. So my first actual match, I was still in the training process. I was almost towards the end, but so they wanted to give me kind of a tryout. I was in an 8-man tag, and I only had a character by proxy because I worked as a lifeguard while I was working, and I happened to just wear the lifeguard shirt to practice, and that was it. Everyone started calling me lifeguard, and so that was my character. It was really just didn't really know how to be a lifeguard because I only was a lifeguard for like 6 months, but that they said it was a great character. So I just said, all right, you want to let me wrestle, I'll do whatever you want me to do. So there I was in my work uniform, with my lifeguard shirt, and I had some like kind of red, they were like, I still have them, they're like this salmon colored pair of shorts, not even like matching shorts, some wrestling shoes and some knee pads, and they're like, all right, go. And I'm like, I look like crap. And just even make it all better while I was training in the ring before the show, in just the simplest move, I was just practicing with my trainer and he threw me into the corner. And when I landed, I did something to my knee. I sprained it. I did something where it just like went the complete opposite way. And that's the only time I remember actually feeling like, oh crap, I don't know if I can wrestle. And it was right before my first match. So, yeah, it was, but I made it through. There were a few times where like I literally fell. Like it was so bad that like, I mean, I iced it and left, like stayed sitting until the match. And even then, like, even just sitting there on the ring, I was, cheering on my teammate and I jumped up and down and it buckled. And so I fell.
Oh, wow.
And everyone's just like, what the hell is this lifeguard kid doing?
Yeah.
And, but, I ended up getting through the match. I actually got some applause because, I'm not going to get into too much detail because it's a very weird, we call them spots, but essentially everyone kind of jammed their thumb up where the sun don't shine.
Whoa.
In a giant train, and I was the last person. And because
I had a hardcore match?
No, it was a weird tag team match.
That is so crazy.
This is my first match, and they said, okay, you're perfect. You have the lifeguard fanny pack. I'm like, yeah, and I had some rubber gloves from work, and so they're like, okay, you'll go last. Watch everyone do it, and then put your glove on, and then do it. I'm like,
oh my gosh, that's
and so it was
crazy.
funny. It was funny because like everyone's, oh, okay, he's like, it's gross, haha. But it's still just like, why was that one of the first things I did when I stepped into the ring? Why? Because I had no say over what I did. I was so young and still into the training. I just followed orders, and that was my first match, and it was not great. I actually just found I thought it was, just something that happened. And I would have never like whatever, but I actually found there's footage of it on YouTube. Don't look it up. And from there, I remember like it was so surreal at the first time that I didn't really think much of it while I was out there, because I was with people I've been training with and people I trusted. So it was like, in my head I was like, I'm fine here. But it wasn't until because I did that one match and then that was it. And then I just kept training for like months. And so eventually I got picked up by a guy named Officer Rod Street. He has this whole group of the police department, he has SWAT members. And then he literally just picked me up out of obscurity. Like I was changing next to him and that's all it took. And he asked me if I wanted to start riding around with him and learning the rest. And it came at a pretty good time too, because right at that time, my training school, because I was like the only trainee left, it kind of shut down. So at that point, he goes, well, you know enough, right? I'm like, well, I think so. And so he would train with me a little bit and before the shows and see what I did and didn't know. And eventually he just said, yeah, you can come at any show you want to. And so I just started going with him every weekend. And eventually I became his deputy. I was Deputy Days. And it wasn't until I started doing that where I actually started getting nervous before matches, because that was me. To me, it felt more like, the other one with all the people I knew and trusted was fine. But this was people I didn't know.
Right.
I was just going to this show. I was new. I'd never been outside of Michigan like that much. I'd never wrestled outside of Michigan. And here are these people I've never met. I'm with a guy that I barely know who just picked me up at a show, and like he ended up being like a really awesome guy, but it's still just, it was a very scary situation where I just was like, well, this is wrestling, so here we go.
And you were like in the back of your head, you had to be like, okay, do I risk it? Do I go for it? I mean, this is what I want to pursue. This is my dream, but
it was never.
This is different territory.
I was gonna do it. I've always been a, like, I act and then think, sometimes to my own detriment. So in my head, I was like, just do it, see what happens. And yeah, I did get, but I actually got a lot of connections by doing that. Like a lot of people that I still know and work with today. I met back then and so that was oh God, it's 2021, isn't it? It was 4 years ago. So, you know, I just kept doing that, but you know, it wasn't until I started getting scared and was in scary situations and actually started messing up.
Mm-hmm.
So you learned on the job, and
Right.
here I am.
Right. And so now from there, when did another transformation come where you became Saucy Boy Josh Morris, and then your connection now with QZR Dobson? Because I'm gonna tell you this, because I know both of you all have watched years of wrestling, and you always get that person that is the athlete, and then you have that person that is a manager or the hype person. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when you're watching them, you're like going, okay, who put this pairing together? Because it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And then you put two people together and it just works. And with you two, from the first match that I watched you both, you know, Josh, you in, and then QZR, you come out and you just, you know, hold up. Like as soon as that beat dropped, and then you walk out with him, and then Josh is doing his thing, you know, hyping up the crowd and everything else. I mean, I'm watching, and I myself too, I was watching both of y'all go walk around the ring and walk around, and then Josh, you know, just high-fiving and you know, talking trash about his opponent and everything else. And QZR, you were doing your whole entire flow, and I'm going, okay, these two know how to work the crowd. And as a person that's not physically there, but you know, watching, you know, on live stream or, you know, pay-per-view or whatever, I just need to know, how did you two connect up and think, you know, okay, this is something that can work. You know, I involve my character, bring in QZR, he brings in the music, names it, you know, specifically after you, and it just works. It evolves.
So how that whole spiel happened, it was actually, he made the song before so he's the reason I'm a saucy boy. Let me just say that. Mm-hmm. Dobson brought a lot out of me because I was still doing the lifeguard thing. You know, I was still, you know, I stopped doing the police thing because I was always going to be his sidekick. So I wanted to branch out on my own. Not that there's anything wrong with being a sidekick, but I felt the need to branch out on my own. Mm-hmm. So, but I didn't have a whole lot of ideas for a new character. You know, I was just like, oh, you know, I guess I'll keep on doing what I've been doing. And so, you know, I did for a few months, you know, and while I was doing that, like it was when I started branching off on my own, I walked into work where I actually work. I work at Dark Container in Mason. I make foam cups. Yippee. I met.
Shout out to Dark Container.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're like them.
I met the man who is now known as QZR Dobson, just in the break room. And I don't know, I looked at him and I just knew there was something about him. I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to this dude. And I asked him a really weird question. I don't even remember what it was, but it was something you don't open with. But you know, that's just that's just the kind of guy I am. So, you know, I saw him, I'm like, you know what? I like this guy. And we ended up hanging out like a week later.
Mm-hmm. So your music, QZR, let me bring you in because you're this rap artist, and I thought of you, and I'm going to say it before I even ask you a question. I saw the Grammy nominations today, and I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to speak in existence. I just see you on there one day.
Oh, thank you.
Getting Grammy noms. Your flow, your energy, your lyrics are absolutely amazing. And after we're done talking here, I want you both to obviously to drop your, you know, social medias and all that so they can follow you. But you being, how did you, first of all, get involved yourself as, you know, a musician, an artist, a rap artist? What made you want to pursue that avenue? And then part two, you know, you got this tall, lanky kid coming up to you and talking to you and asking you a question at Dark Container. You're just like, okay. How did all that evolve for you?
Well, I always was interested in like writing. Like it was something intimate about like a notebook and a pen. And I always did poems and stuff like that. I like expressing emotions through words. And like, I was never really good at talking to people, but for some reason it translated better when I would put it in art, you know? So So I'm just writing poems all the way through school and stuff like that. And then my junior year hits in high school. And that's when I became really good friends with someone else who's in my collective. His name's QZR. And he showed me that he rapped and everything. It was him and another dude in my collective, Morel. I met them. I was cool with him the year before, but I didn't really start messing with music until my junior year. And like, he just inspired me to rap. And then he was one of those people who was really open to teaching me and like teaching someone else the art form. And so he taught me about how to line up my syllables when it came to rhyming and all that stuff. And then I started to feel camaraderie. And so like, I was like, I really enjoy this, like this music thing's fun. And then I started diving into like the rap world even deeper, like, cause rap was always rap was always my favorite genre, but I never really decided to do it myself or really like dive into it more and do more research about it. But after meeting QZRV Morel, that really like flipped everything. So music became one of my main focuses. It was music at the time. It was football and music. And in my head all the time, like if I wasn't gonna make it in football, I was definitely gonna do this music thing. Right. So that's the dream that I ended up following. And then skip years later or whatever, I get a job at Dark Container. My first day, I think it was at lunchtime. This dude walks up to me and I think the question was like, no, I don't remember the question exact. I know it was just like different. Like the question he asked me instantly in my head, I was like, okay, this dude's freaking weird, yo. I don't know what's going on, but it was like
either he was weird or he dreams big. He put the vision out there.
Yeah. And I'm like, at least he's genuine. But then he told me that he wrestles, and I ain't even gonna lie. When he told me that, like he explained earlier, I was one of those people. I was like wrestling, like WWE, like what you talking about? And he was like, yeah. And then he invited me over, and we chilled, and we played Smash Bros. And I was like, this dude's cool, man. Like this dude's really nice, and like really, he was just a cool person. I was like, okay, we can skip past that first question. Just don't ask me no more questions like that. We'd be cool. But yeah,
I've asked him many more questions like that.
I know. But yeah, man, ever since then, it's just been history, man. I asked him if he wanted me to write him a song for his wrestling. I did that, and now he's Saucy Josh Morris, man, and QZR Dobson coming in to rock the stage, man.
And I like I said, both of you all and your connection and how you capture the audience and the vibe, it works. And what I just think that the journey that you both have been on has just absolutely been incredible. And so take me back. So you both connect, you know, you're part of this wrestling scene and everything else. Take me back to a memory where you both, you both step on, out there in a wrestling stage platform together. And it's just like, it was like, take me back to when it was like the best time. Cause I know most of the time, all the time that I've seen your matches, you both look like you're having a good time regardless, whether they boo you, whether they cheer for you, whatever the case is, you both are having a good time. So what's a match that you both can recall where it was just like everything clicked, everything was a vibe, it was amazing, it was a good time?
All right, I know you know the match, Josh.
I think I might.
You already know, man. It was like the first time we ever went out to Detroit. We got invited to go to, I forgot the name of the promotion exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
HCW.
Yeah. We got to go out to Detroit, man. And like the thing is, the way things were lining up is like we showed up late and we were the first
15 minutes before bell.
Late. Yeah, dude. Like we
were on first.
Yeah, man. And I'm usually the calm, collected person, so I'm over there chilling. But Josh do not be playing about his time, man. Like he really need to be there early every time on the dot and stay the latest every time, no question. So he's over there, he's freaking out. He's like, "Yo, I think he just said we're on first." So we're running, we're walking, we get dressed and everything, and then we come out. It was the biggest crowd I ever seen, first of all, and it was the most interactive crowd I've been around. So we come out and I'm rapping. Yeah, it was at a bar, but they was really into it, man. I come out, Josh Morris isn't, and like as I'm rapping, I'm looking around, like, yo, this is finna be crazy. Like in my head as I rap, I'm like, yo, this is finna be crazy. And we go up there and I rap, and then after I'm done, you know, Josh is doing his thing, spinning around in the ring. I'm like, okay, he on one, I'm on one. We together, we on the same vibe. And then after I'm done, the biggest applause I ever heard. And then in the match, then Josh started getting beat up right after that.
Hey, I will say I got ganged up because those damn Cobra Kai guys.
Yeah.
LJ Lawrence, I don't know. The guy, I'm sorry, LJ, I know he's gonna kill me when he hears this, but he came out first. I came out first. He came out second. It was me versus him. And then his second lackey came out. And then his third lackey came out. And then his fourth lackey came out. And so I got ganged up 4-1. And I still stayed in longer than all of them.
Yeah.
Because I came in first, and I was the last one eliminated from the entire Rumble.
See, that's sauce right there.
I went bell to bell.
Ooh.
See, that's sauce. That's sauce. And no other like you. And here's the thing. And I just recently watched your last match that you had. And in my humblest opinion, you should be having the AIWF championship around your waist. That's just my opinion. You know, people can go back and check the tapes, check it out, check it. But I know that you'll have your second shot at it and defeat, was it Jared Kripke? Is his name?
Jared Kripke. Yeah, I that was probably one of my favorite matches of the year, honestly.
Yeah, that was a great match.
That was nice.
Much as I give him crap, because I call him Jared Krapke, he's a very awesome guy. I love wrestling him. And actually got him again December 12th in a triple threat match with Cowboy James Storm.
Okay.
Who's wrestled on Impact Television for over 10 years. He's a former Impact World Champion. He's a big name right there. And I'm about to show him what this sauce all about.
There you go.
About that sauce, man.
Not about to bring that sauce. And here's the thing, like everybody's got their entrance music, but nobody's got the hype, the sauce, the swagger. And yes, I know people are going to be thinking about this. Like, you know, Dobson, I have him on the show and he, you know, has the same color, you know, Laker colors. And then that's the colors of that I rock on my logo on my podcast. That's just fate. You know, we both represent the Lansing, Michigan area, the 5-1 city, the capital city. So I didn't let them know. Shout out to those in Lansing, Michigan. I got a shout out to those Coldwater, Michigan, and all those that are listening, that will be listening on the podcast and on the YouTube. I got a shout out to the greatest state ever that got us assembled, smitten with the mitten. The M. What y'all know, we celebrate all 4 seasons. And one of them that lasts the longest is winter. We're doggone it.
Yeah, I feel like we celebrate all 4 seasons like twice.
Right. It'll snow in December and it'll keep snowing until May.
Right. Let's talk about
right. No, I just think that was such a great match, and then you get your opportunity again on December 12th. Now is that for a title? It says triple threat.
Yep, that's for the belt I was challenging him for last weekend, the AIWF Midwest Heavyweight Championship. It's a little bit of a tongue twister.
That's all right. That tongue twister should be around your waist.
Exactly. It should be.
And it will be December 12th.
I'm gonna kick both their asses.
Okay, where's the match gonna be held at for the people that are gonna be intrigued and want to know?
That's in Bloomington, Indiana. It's a Sunday. Don't know much beyond that because it's my first time at this place. Very new money, MPG Wrestling, Money Power Gold Wrestling. Shout out to them for this fantastic opportunity. And yeah, it should be an awesome match. There'll be more to come, I'm sure. I don't rightly know where the what the address is, but the flyer should be coming out soon.
Oh, I'm excited about that. I'm hyped about that. So we talked about when both of y'all linked up and what your best moment was. Talk about to me, and I know you probably have 1 or 2, hopefully not many, one of the worst matches, worst events that you both unfortunately had to endure. Dobson's already laughing.
Okay, which one do you want to go with? But you weren't even there fully for that one.
For which one? Oh no, that one. Yeah,
no,
it was
that
so
one.
Bad. I had that. Yeah, it was another one.
There was one here in the L.
Yeah,
it was. We're not going to talk about that because Mike's got another, or QZR Dobson's got
No,
another.
we could talk about both, man. Go ahead, get it off your. I feel like you need to get it off your chest.
Release it.
No,
This is a show that people,
Right.
you know, release what is on the inside that can, you know, use of, you know, this is therapeutic. We're all family here.
It's just a little like insider kind of deal where I didn't get to do all the things I like was told that I was going to be able to do, and the match I wanted to have was very short and not very good, and they also didn't have music. It was a whole bunch of stuff. It was, but that's
how could you not have music? That's terrible.
They said they tried.
Music is essential. It is essential for the vibe of the match before it begins.
I agree, but he said it was just a malfunction. Funny.
Cap.
What was that one you were thinking about, Mike?
Oh, this was at GLWA. And like usually at GW, everything's perfect. Everything's beautiful. It's one of my favorite spots to work at. But today, I don't know what was going on with the AC or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's so muggy, and like when it's muggy like that, like drains your energy, and then it drains the crowd's energy, and then it drains your energy more because you're like, I'm trying to pick up the crowd, but they and it's like, man, the intro was always good like usual. He still had that energy, but I feel like after that intro, I seen that sweat dripping down
right
Josh's face, and the person we're going against, Jaden. Man, they're drenched and they look winded and tired, and I'm like, man, nobody's talking to me in the crowd because they're all like, it's muggy and stuff, and they're all sweaty too. I'm like,
I would just lay there and be like, just tag me, man. I'm hot. Just tag me. Right. Just 1, 2, 3. Let's get this done. Let's go find some AC.
Let's go home, man.
I've wrestled Jaden a lot of times, and that probably would be our worst encounter. But like I said, like I was alluding to earlier, he and I have had a lot of good matches. You asked earlier what like my favorite match that the two of us have been a part of. I love that Battle Rumble at FEW, but the one my personal favorite was HCW. It was in July of this year, HCW Slam Extravaganza 2.
It was fire.
We had our whole act. Well, I wrestled Jaden, but our whole like presentation, it was like a spectacle. You know what I mean? We got QZR and his collective, QZR IV and D'Artagnan. They both came out for the show.
Nice.
And they performed their songs available on Spotify: Destiny, Gracious, and High Roller.
Gracious is a hype one. I like Gracious. Gracious is a really good vibe. I like that one.
Yeah, and they performed them live in front of the audience. The audience ate it up.
Oh, that's sweet.
They were feeding out of the palms of QZR Dobson's hands. And then he goes, but you guys know what we're really here for, right?
Exactly.
And the booze just came down because out came Josh Morris, the most ridiculous, obnoxious man in indie wrestling history. Came out, and I debuted the sparkling gold Tiger tracksuit that day.
The Tiger tracksuit is fire.
Yeah, and I wrestled Jaden, and the match went really well. I picked up the dub, everything, and then after the end, we played with kind of they all got on beating up Jaden a little bit. The collective, what was it, D'Artagnan? He did something funny where he like picked up, he picked up his body and was just like, and
taking pictures.
It was funny. Man,
that is awesome. I know y'all have a third member of your crew, a bat. Would you like to tell the audience that is listening or watching about, I want to say it right, is it Crispy Rico?
His name is Crispy Rico, and he is the sauciest bat you'll ever meet. He's made with the sauciest kind of metal on the periodic table of elements, titanium.
That is a crispy, saucy bat, I must say.
He will take out anybody who needs taken out. And, it's kind of like Thor's hammer, you know what I mean? Other people have picked him up, and he's just not as effective. as in the grasps of Josh Morris. Many people have learned exactly what Crispy Rico's all about. Jaden Quick, Damian Gray, the mysterious Movado. They all learned what the heck Crispy Rico's got to bring to the table.
Jaden Quick should have learned quickly about Crispy Rico.
He's not a quick learner.
No. I love that you write Crispy Rico, and then you had the list of rules for Jaden Quick, and I was like, okay, this dude need to catch a clue before he gets some of that sauce, some of that Crispy Rico sauce, and then, you know, Dobson do what he do, but he didn't catch that vibe.
Oh. No.
He caught that L, but he didn't catch that vibe.
He challenged me to the Saucy Boy rules match. I'm like, do you not realize the Saucy Boy rules are made by the Saucy Boy?
Yep.
Me. What a moron.
Poor man. He tried.
He did. He did a good job. You know, A+ for effort, but like a D- on execution.
Yeah, and an L for left out the back door, because that's what he thought. Because he didn't learn that day. He should have learned that day. So Josh Morris, now wrestler, saucy boy, he brings all the swagger, flavor, got the hypest hype man, and now wants to pursue Big Brother.
I'm going to be on Big Brother.
You are going to be on Big Brother. I am very excited about that. Why Big Brother?
So again, probably goes back to my childhood. I watched Big Brother with my uncle. He was like in town for for like a month. He flew in from Oregon and Oregon, however you say it. And they watched Big Brother, and my family got into it. My mom and sister, we all watched it. And it was at the peak of its like popularity. Big Brother 7, Big Brother All-Stars, with the best cast, fight me, the best cast in Big Brother history. And it was just, I hate to use that word again, but it was like a spectacle. I mean, Big Brother has never been that big since, but there's been a lot of good seasons since then, obviously, because that was in 2006. But I as it kind of got older, I didn't really, my parents didn't leave it on, so like I didn't watch it because they weren't watching it, and it didn't ever occur in my head to watch it until I had a random memory, probably like a year and a half ago. I'm like, oh yeah, Big Brother was a cool show, wasn't it? And I just kind of looked it up, and I'm like, oh, that's still going? I can do that. I'm old enough now. I can do that. And because I know that, I'm a little awkward and I'm a little like goofy, but I can definitely use that to my advantage, because no one wants to send me out the door. Everyone likes having me around. So like,
I think I can't. I'm so hyped for it because you're absolutely perfect for that show. You're absolutely perfect.
Without giving out too much, I have a strategy too, and not just what I just said. But I can't give it out for potential Big Brother listeners out there who might be in the house with me. Because it's 16 people from around the United States. So it's but it's just, I don't know, it's an entertaining show. It's a cool like social experiment, the way, because like, just about, some of them are kind of the same, but like just about every season is different, because it's just, you never know what can happen, and a lot of it is just luck. So it's, it's just a really cool show. I think I could and will do really well on it. And there have been plenty of wrestlers who've been on Big Brother. So I feel like there's a connection there. I don't know. I just see it happening, because I mean, not to sound conceited or cocky, but I do think I am a very good fit for the show as well. Those diary rooms are going to be fire.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for you going to the diary room, and I'm excited. And let me tell you both something, man. Like, I appreciate and I applaud both of you all for making wrestling fun again. And in a sense where, like I said in the top of the show, it doesn't matter the size of the crowd, it's how much fun and involved that you get them. And you both do that, and you bring that vibe and you bring that energy every match, small venue, medium venue, big venue, whatever venue y'all go to. I think that you'll get bigger. I think that your name will continue to flourish and get out there. I'm excited for both of you all of what you're going to do, what you're going to continue to do. QZR Dobson, drop to social media so that people can follow you and your music.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm on Facebook, QZR Dobson. Catch me on Instagram, QZR Dobson, you know what I'm saying? Twitter, QZR Dobson. And then YouTube, to search up, listen to all my videos and stuff like that. It's QZR Entertainment. So yeah, QZR Dobson through all platforms. You can find me. And then
you can follow him. Y'all gotta follow him. His
Catch
music
me
is
on Spotify.
fire. Yes. Excuse me, you're on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, correct?
Yep, and Tidal and a lot of other places. I have a whole list. But
and soon we'll be on the Grammy stage performing. He will be at Essence Fest, and we're gonna put it all out there in the atmosphere because it's going to happen. And
then I'm gonna shout out Miss Marisa, and then we're gonna be out here.
Yes. I'll take that shout out. Hey. Saucy of Sauciness, Sir Saucerton. You see how I flipped that in there? All right. Drop your social media so that everybody can give you a follow.
All right. Go ahead and follow me on Facebook at Josh Morris and Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Saucy Josh Morris. Make sure you get that sauce in there. Still working on a TikTok. I still don't know how to use it very well. So once I get on TikTok, I'm working on it. Okay, I'm working on it.
You got the hype man, connect the music, all your moves. Y'all got that. Y'all can do that. Get on TikTok.
Yep. Make sure you give my YouTube page a follow and like all my videos. I try to post there as much as I can, all my promos, all my matches. You can see this sauce for yourself. Go ahead and see me in my future matches. I'm going to be at PWK, which is in Mishawaka, Indiana, the Holiday Inn on December 5th. Along with GLWA in Coloma, Michigan at Top Notch Physiques, also December 5th. And then, like I said earlier, MPG.
Oh, we lost him because I was getting ready to end up playing. Hopefully he comes back though.
He might have
thank QZR Dobson. I thank the saucy boy, Josh Morris. He's still in here, even though he had to step up.
He isn't here. Hold up. Josh, holla. Hey.
This was a lot of fun. Y'all follow them. I think Josh is on his way back. We gotta hype it up before we exit the show.
Josh Morris, here you go. Josh Morris is in here.
Yeah. What happened?
Josh Morris is in.
Hey. I'm just telling the crowd to follow y'all, and I had to end it with the hypest song of all time. All right.
Man, thank you. I appreciate you bringing us on and everything, man. I won't forget this.
This was absolutely a blast. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you everybody for listening and watching. And as I always end the show, make sure y'all take care of one another. Take care and stay safe. We out.